Okay, the last parent functions we're going to talk about before we go on to a fourth section that we're going to do all together is cube and cube root. So cubes have a cube exponent, and their graphs are kind of cool. Here's your origin, or your axis. You're going to go up, you're going to get flat right at 0, and then back up, like an S. Cube roots are going to be radical x, but there's a little 3 on that shelf. And for the drawing there, the graph, you're going to do a square root graph and flip it upside down. Make sure it goes through there. And then the numbers are going to be slightly different, but we'll see that with the parent table. Same thing as usual. Look with the X to move left and right. Look after the operation to look if you're going up or down. We're going to make the parent tables here. This is number 2. So I'm going to zoom in so I have lots of room. So the parent table for x cubed, super easy. Same original 5 numbers I like. And you cube them. Make sure you use a parentheses around them. So you're cubing those x values. And then if you need to, you can times by a, if you have an a at all. Okay, the other one we have in this section is a cube root, and they're very similar, which is why we put them together as far as their tables go. So instead of doing -2, we're going to take this -8 as our starting point, because it will make a nice whole number when we cube root it. And if you need help finding the cube root button in your calculator, go ahead and pause this video and call me over and I'll help you with it. Okay, cube rooting, you get -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Notice it's the exact opposite of x cubed. So these two columns are switched, whether it's cubed or cube rooted. And then you still times by a if you have a. And then going back to the guided notes here at the end, all of this is pretty much the same as units 6.1 and 2, but the parent equations are what you want to memorize. Notice there's a 3 there and a radical 3 there. So let's try practice homework. So problem number 12 on that 6.2 and 3 assignment. That -2, see how it happens after the cube? So this is down 2. So let's draw our table, or not table, our picture. I'm not going to have a ton of room for this, so it might go off my graph. Sorry about that. You guys will draw your graphs perfect so they don't go off. Okay, so we're going to start at the origin and move down 2 and put our first point there. That's a vertex. And then we're going to make our parent table. See that x cubed? I know it's going to have a cubed here because of it. So we're going to use the -2 through 2 again. Make sure you memorize which numbers to use because it will make your graphing a lot easier. And then we have an a here. If you notice, negative in the front. We're going to times these all by -1. You never times by 0. It doesn't happen here. So this is going to become 8, 1, 0, -1, -8, which should just flip our graph upside down. So the first point, -2, means you go left 2, and then we go up 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The next one's at -1, 1. Let's see, right here and here. So you go left 1, up 1. And then 0, 0 stays here. 1, -1, start at that vertex and go right 1, down 1. And then right 2, and down 8. Oh, it almost fit. You want to make sure you have a nice flat line right here at that vertex. And then try and get it so that it touches right here and here. So the curves touch that flat line. And that's sketching it. And then make sure you're labeling your points on the tests and quizzes. I will want to see every point labeled with not the table points, but with the actual graph points. Okay, let's look at the next homework problem, 21. Notice here, what's my parent graph? You got a square root and another one flipped upside down, so you know it's a cube root. And then we have our -h plus k and our a in front. So start with the parent graph and work your way out. So our vertex, maybe it's a little hard to see on this one, but it's right here, right where it stops going to the right and it starts going to the left. And it's at -1, -2. So in our equation, it's going to be plus 1 and still the minus 2 at the end. Make sure the minus 2 is not under a radical. Has to be afterwards. And make sure that 3 is right on this shelf here, because you don't want to make it look like a is cubed. For a, let's zoom in to count this. So you're going to move right 1, and notice the next point is up 1. So a is still 1. I told you, all my examples here are really bad to show you a, because they're all the same. And that's it. So at this point, you should have watched all 3 videos. Make sure you do all of the homework for each one by the time we need to go into 6.4.